When you think about the history of Canada, you think about people that came together to build stuff. That's really just how simple it was. It was a bunch of people that came together to say we could build important stuff that would ensure that future generations would enjoy prosperity and hope in this new nation. And so they did. And then they went on to other projects through the decades, including the Trans-Canada Highway that linked the country from coast to coast yet again for those traveling by car. In a country that is as vast as Canada is, it's essential that we have things that link us together, that connect us from coast to coast. And so, of course, infrastructure is absolutely essential. So it's shocking what Trudeau's Environment Minister said today. He said, and I quote, "Our government has made the decision to stop investing in new road infrastructure."
That's not what I said.
Yes, it is.
Wait.
They have decided to stop doing the one thing that national governments are expected to lead on. There are communities in northern areas and First Nations communities across this country that have untapped potential. They're sitting on economic opportunities. And the one thing that they need is critical infrastructure to make those things happen, is the thing that the government has said today is no longer on the table. So let's take a look at this. This is a map of Canada. 70% of Canadians live below this line. This is also where you'll find most of Canada's existing roads and bridges. Now, Canada is a nation of vast natural resources. They're off the coast in Atlantic Canada, forestry in British Columbia, vast energy wealth in northern Alberta and Saskatchewan. Critical minerals are buried in northern Quebec and Ontario. There is opportunity for generations to come. Infrastructure like roads and bridges are critical to our future prosperity. So the majority of Canadians live below that line, but most of the economic opportunities are above that line. So the one place that we need to see roads and bridges built in order to enjoy this new opportunity and prosperity is the one place that bridges and roads currently don't exist. For Canadians to enjoy those new opportunities to enjoy the long-term prosperity, we will need new road infrastructure, the exact thing that the minister promised they would never do. Some of the folks here in Ottawa said, don't take the minister seriously. But those of us who have been watching him over the last number of years know that Trudeau takes direction from this minister.
And we've fought 2 federal elections where carbon pricing was one of the issues, not the only one. I'll be happy to fight a third one if we have to.
When you see the devastating carbon tax that they've imposed on Canadian families, sending more and more Canadians to a food bank, making it more and more difficult for people to afford to get their kids to school or to drive to work, the minister has said that he's going to outlaw gas-powered vehicles here in Canada. Vehicles that are necessary to survive in this climate. Never mind the minister's plan to cut the amount of fertilizer that farmers can use, which will absolutely reduce the amount of food that we can produce here in Canada. If you look at this minister's history, he has a radical agenda to stop development here in Canada. He's attacked farming and forestry and mining and Canada's energy sector again and again. And when you look at the areas that will be most impacted by this minister's war on roads, you can see it's the exact same thing. It really has gotten to the point where you can't build anything in Canada anymore. But I know that Canadians want a strong nation where there's opportunity for future generations. It's not just about the dollars, it's about the vision, about being able to build things, not just shut things down. Look at the buildings behind me. It takes a fair bit of leadership to build something like that. It takes planning and forethought and ambition.
The crazy carbon tax minister has done it again. This time, he's saying that the federal government is not going to support any new road construction. I quote, "Our government has made the decision to stop investing in new road infrastructure." End quote. So he believes that people in Yukon or rural Alberta or rural Newfoundland will have to get to work riding a bicycle. Mr. Speaker, why should those people have to pay taxes for infrastructure when they can't possibly use the tramways and the bicycles that he's funding?
Our government's approach to investing in trade corridors and roads that Canadians rely on has not changed since 2015.
First, this radical minister is bringing in a 61 cent a litre carbon tax on people who are committing the crime of driving to work or operating their farms. Then he wants to ban people from using vehicles that are necessary in our climate. And now he says he's going to ban all federal funding for future roads. Our government has made the decision to stop investing in new road infrastructure. Will the Prime Minister condemn these crazy comments?
But before we can realize those dreams, it seems we're going to have to replace Justin Trudeau with a government that actually wants to build things up. And as always, thanks for watching.